Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Alan Wake, Episode 2. It's kind of interesting that this game is divided into episodes. I guess it's no secret that that Remedy is highly influenced by film, by cinema. And then you have this game that's divided into episodes. You have Quantum Break, which is kind of presented as a TV show. So it's kind of interesting where their film and TV influences lie. We're going to drop back into the game. Various mysteries are afoot. The wife is missing. We know that Barry has left whatever location he lives in to come to Bright Falls because of the mystery novel that Alan Wake keeps finding. Not because Alan has seen him, but because of the story within the story kind of revealing itself through those found manuscripts.
Previously on Alan Wake, I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
And to emphasize that TV show appearance, like you've got this previously on.
Behind the wheel of a crashed car.
Which kind of feels strange if you binge watch the whole game, or binge play the whole game,
Took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cat
because it still shows the previously ons. And Alan Wake wears the same outfit at all times. That is a super close-up of the bag to disguise the fact that,
How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
But what is she working on? Also, they got a nice place. It's kind of like one of those, I don't know, antique, old-style balcony things going on. They got green apples in the bowl. New television, or do they just keep the box around? Actually, new television. They haven't installed it yet. That is an interesting detail. The fact that the television is in the box, but it's not on the TV set. They've got their library of books.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Ooh. And look, he's got other... There's his jacket. I'm guessing these photos are meant to be photos taken by her. Since she's the photographer to his writer. Oh. Anything in here worth noting? Pills to dull the pain. Just, they've got a excess amount of toilet paper.
The continuing freezing rain and heavy snowfall have necessitated a winter storm warning in the entire tri-state area. People are advised to stay indoors, as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not expecting snow crews to keep up with the weather.
Okay. Okay, here is his desk. But first is Alan Wake, Return to Sender Marathon. Ah, nice Max Payne 2 reference. What I Can't Forget. Alex Casey, The Things That I Want, by Max Payne. Also another Max Payne reference. And The Fall of Casey. Again, nice Max Payne references there. Examine the...
This was a late goodbye.
The Late Goodbye is the song from Max Payne 2.
It had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Notice how that one actually has the voice of the voice actor of Max Payne reading it. It's not Alan Wake's voice reading it.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
As she has a fear of the dark.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid.
Oh, is this where they introduced the concept of the
Got
clicker?
really bad. My mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare
Also,
the monsters
the idea of the
Oh,
clicker
sure.
feels like a very Stephen King
Here it is.
concept.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
And I had this broken light switch on hand, available, so that I could keep the prop. That is a nice snow effect. I don't know why it gives subtitles for text. I always find it strange when that happens.
Like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I've been better.
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Is nobody asking where he's been for the last week?
We're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Also, is there a fish on his desk?
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
Very,
Your word for it, Doc.
very nice. I'm glad you shared me that story. By the way, what's up with these old computers with like 5.5-inch floppy drives? Is this story set farther back than I imagine it to be, or is
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Hold on. Have you seen this man?
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Okay, let's grab my phone.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
Yeah.
My men are
Have
already
you?
on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd locked me up.
I wandered about for a bit.
Excuse me. I need to take this.
I need to take this unknown caller.
Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot.
I forgot this subplot.
Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit drinking for good.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
Mister! Hey, can you turn the lights on? The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I thank you, man, thank you.
There you go, sir.
You're alright. You're a good guy. Don't
Thanks.
let anybody tell you different.
I don't.
You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Which presents Alan with an excuse to go back into the forest in the darkness. Like, I feel that with this game is one that requires you to kind of get excuses for that. Because, like, the first time you're just stuck in the woods. But now you actually have to go back to the woods.
Told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
It's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting that the big day's almost here.
It's really exciting. Deer Fest.
And leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Okay, let's get out of here. So there's a junker for me to examine, I presume. Nope. There. Go. There. Go. And... You know, the back lot of the, police...
driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business. The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Where's my wife? So we got the driver's license.
Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick.
Barry! Where's Barry?
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Okay, so... if I vaguely remember correctly, it's not exactly like you have to try that hard.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark, Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Although notice how he is inside the cabin on Cauldron Lake.
I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their...
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my
Okay, now I'm arresting you.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me.
He kind of reminds me of Vinny Gognitti from
Once I sick my lawyers on your ass.
Max Payne 2.
Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
Well, you see, what happens is Alan Wake likes to finish off his sentences using proper punctuation. I'll stop.
Certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
Anything beyond that was another story. That's also kind of a play on words there.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow, I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Mr. coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
I don't know.
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan.
Yeah, Alan Wake seems like he would be a terrible author towards his fans. The skeleton of a Colombian mammoth. This specimen, estimated to be 14,000 years old, was recovered from the La Brea tar pits in 1981. It was donated to the Elderwood National Park in 1998, when the Colombian mammoth became Washington's state fossil. It's the state fossil, and Bucktooth Charlie is the park's mascot. Hello, Bucktooth Charlie.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice, and everything's just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, it's a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Believe it or not, there's not much comedy that occurs in the funny farm. You could almost say it's very much anti-comedy. Let's see what's going on out back. I think this guy is taking care of the dog. Anything to say about this bear? Nothing to say about the bear.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay.
Sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay. He got lucky.
That is good.
Max is still
Actually, wait, is that, no, I think it was Toby was, the name of the other dog that disappeared. Yeah, Toby was the one that was, on the radio.
Just go and meet a kidnapper? Those situations always end up in disaster.
Well, that's why I'm bringing a gun.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing... Listen, you hit your head.
Amongst other things.
Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Ah, unique animation for that one. Oh, and there's the trap.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set.
That's convenient that he happened to have the keys on him at the time.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
It will definitely not be full of monsters trying to kill you.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him.
Yes.
You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills.
So at least they're healthy.
You make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
He's got a lot of... These guys got a lot of conversation to happen.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me?
Does he call him that as a nickname? Like, he doesn't call him Al and Alan, he just calls him bestseller?
Work with me on this or go straight back to New York.
Is that meant to be ego boosting? Or is that meant to also kind of be a reminder, hey writer, why aren't you writing? And then Alan Wake would say, Barry, it's because I'm working on my Let's Play video game channel. That's why I'm not writing. And then Barry will say, Al, that's awfully specific.
Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. This is not a goddamn debate, Barry.
Yeah, show that
I'm
lamp.
going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
He's not going to be back by morning.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be Deliverance all over again.
That's what we were waiting for. Deliverance, Part 2. The Delivering.
This place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission. Real funny, Al. Real funny. Thank you. Just sit here in the dark till you come back, or until I get eaten by a grue.
Okay. And now back out into the forest I go. Because that's... Okay, so downstairs looks like it's the path forward. Let's see if there's some stuff to collect. Like I said, I don't know how much stuff there is going to be left for me to collect, because I think this game actually remembers what I did in my previous save back on the Xbox 360. So there's not going to be as many collectibles. Okay, let's carry on. I believe I saw a manuscript down the stairs. Most of the manuscripts have already been collected, but at the very least it shows the manuscripts again, so I don't have to worry about really kind of erasing all data kind of thing.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
And the thing is, though, like, it's like he makes... Like, Alan picks up the manuscript, but he makes no indication of having read it.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
Oh, yeah?
I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Now, I forget how far I'm gonna have to travel before I get attacked by shadows once again. Oh, and there is a light. Nope. That was spooky. And by light, I also mean a checkpoint. Anything inside this... I think this game could use maybe a stamina bar. Ah, there's a radio. There's, some books or something? Ooh. Because unfortunately, yeah, I've lost all of the guns I picked up, so I'm guessing at the end of the episodes, I'm always going to be reverting to base armory.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage.
And then they laughed and laughed.
Really, just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously.
Pie eating is an excellent kind of exercise.
I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a
You know,
largemouth bass.
I wonder, like, in regards to video games especially, is they tend to just have that very focused storyline. Like, imagine if there was no secondary documents to read, no radio. You would only really have the storyline based on who Alan Wake interacts with. And nothing else.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
And the fact that, like... Oh. And that's not too big of a problem, because Alan Wake does interact with a lot of people, there's a lot of dialogue. But consider other stories in which there's much less dialogue, it focuses more about... the action. Like, say, like... let's say, like, Half-Life 2. A large amount of Half-Life 2 is just spent, especially once you pass through, what is it called? Ravenholm? It's the dark city filled with zombies, more or less. Once you get through there, a large amount of the game is spent just going from one place to another. So a lot of the lore, a lot of the story you get is in the background. Ooh. I didn't even remember there was a...
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh?
Does it? He assaults with a weapon that is a pair of bare fists.
Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. The white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
So mysterious. Although I wouldn't say that the concepts of disease and cure are equivalent to the concepts of crime and punishment. Like, the crime has already been committed. It cannot... Like, a cure stops the disease from spreading. It reverts the health of a person. Whereas a crime cannot be reverted. It's more like sickness and diagnosis more than anything else, if you're going to give it a comparison. And a manuscript page.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
And some fantastic vistas of the nearby forest. But yeah, like I was saying, most adventures tend to focus, like, that focal point on that main character can sometimes make it easy for a lot of the side characters to receive very little development. Oh, another manuscript page.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. "Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page."
Which actually kind of goes back to his dream. He's being chased down by these fictional characters that he has created. Angry that he had written them to die. And now there's this manuscript that he has apparently written. Huh? which is coming true.
Left me weak. This was no head injury.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me!
Yeah, Rusty's dead. Rusty is in here.
Can you hear me? Anyone? Hello? Please help! Back here. I'm back here. Hey. Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened.
But what did he... Oh, he probably put it in his office. On the other building, of course. That is the safest place. This,
The only way
thusly...
to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Thusly, Rusty will be put in harm's way, and I will not be there to see it.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
Alright, so there should be another manuscript page along with the way to turn the power back on? What am I missing? Oh, there we are.
I was too late.
Oh, there's a
Someone
giant
had
axe in the
destroyed
circuit breaker.
There was no way to get the lights back on.
Yep. And there goes Rusty.
Rusty! Rusty!
The ground was covered with burning ashes that looked like liquid darkness.
Oh, is this his manuscript page?
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about these like little pools of darkness. No, I will not use a battery. Not just yet. Alright. There we go. And that's, I think, another thing that makes a lot of this game a little bit more repetitive is the fact that,
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals.
Rusty has been claimed by the darkness. By the evil within. Oh, hello.
License, obey! The Park Ranger's instructions. At all times. Rusty? Rusty, no! Never! No approach closer than 100 yards. 2 bears and wolves? Never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 yards. Pets must be leashed. Never leave your pet unattended.
And he is pretty fast. But once the darkness is removed, he should be pretty easy to deal with. There we go. There goes Rusty. And he was... Oh, hello. Damn it. It's always the guys that throw axes. Those are guys that are trickier. There. A nice little exclamation to let you know that everything is okay. And then let's pick up some last-minute revolver ammo. Like, I feel that this game doesn't really need you to collect everything. Like, you always have enough to deal with your, with the problems of the forest. Luckily, you don't have to worry about fighting any trees. But you do have to fight forestry machinery.
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
At the very least, there's proof that,
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy.
that Alan isn't out of his mind.
But you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
And there's the arrow to the visitor center. And let's hit up this checkpoint. Ooh.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens. But she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Dun dun dun. Also, these guys sound like very Stephen King-esque characters. Especially since they've got all these, like, marital problems and... like, not really directly related to the main plot. But, like, it's meant to make them seem more, well-rounded. Instead of just being victim number 1.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
But first, what is Moonshine Cave? And why am I able to spend so much time going into it? Why is it as deep as it is? Site of frequent bootlegger activity throughout Prohibition. And there's the stash. And there's a shotgun. Not many shots. Flare gun? Oh, just batteries. I was hopeful. Alright, so now here's the question that I have. Is the darkness localized entirely around Alan Wake, or is the darkness the town? I want to say the darkness is the town because of eventual revelations that occur as to the center of the darkness. So really, nobody in the town is safe. Ah, there we go. That's 2. Three good dodges in a row. Excellent. That went really well. Although I suppose this stage is a little bit different in that, is that supposed to be Lover's Peak? At the very least, I'd imagine that is my next destination. That light in the distance. But this path doesn't go directly there, or does it? And what is this path over here? Or is this just a picnic area? Ah, with a manuscript page.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
that's
fan
pretty
Al
pretty
hated,
accurate.
but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
I feel as though I'm being hunted. At the very least, that music is kind of giving me that feeling. So let's just run directly for that marker and hope absolutely nothing goes wrong. Although judging by the flickering of the shadows, it's only a matter of time before more goons show up. Apparently this isn't the destination. This is just a checkpoint. With a shotgun. I probably should use this shotgun. Oh, hello. There we go. You know he was tougher because of his hunting jacket. The great old one. Oh, hello. It's nice that just the initial blast of light stuns them. Let's see. Is this the right path? Hiking trail. Oh, hello. That was a nice try, dude, but you missed. So yeah, I think I started saying the repetitiveness of the enemy types is you generally just fight these kind of like shadow-covered hunter dudes. So, like you fight shadow-covered hunters, birds, possessed farm machinery. Globs of darkness on various surfaces, and that's generally about it. Oh, hello. There we go. Restored a checkpoint. I don't know how many other games actually have you bring a checkpoint back to life. Let's grab this manuscript page.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
So then, who knew what he knows, and more? Also, they really emphasized the destruction of that random phone set in the middle of the woods. Also, bear alerts. Be aware of bears. They're just right on the hiking trail. Anything up here interesting? Nope. But there's this guy and that guy. And I'm way up here. Let's see if I can get them on a decent fighting plane. Okay, and one of these guys is the big guy. And he's got the charge ability. Oh, hello. Damn it. Not fast enough. I probably should worry about this guy eventually. There we go. All too easy. Or easy enough. I did get smacked a couple times. Anything in that direction? It's hard to tell without getting closer. Probably not. I'll move on. So that tunnel is the path to Lover's Peak. The through tree. And a checkpoint. But I believe this door is barred. So of course... Actually, nope, I can just climb right over it. But I do notice there's this manuscript page. Nope, that is just a reflection of light. It dates from 1846, the year of the Oregon Treaty. And there is literally nothing going on here. There might have been something going on. There might have been a thermos here that I've already picked up in a previous save file. Now, like, now that you don't have, like, Stucky and, like, a gas station to go to, like, it's more or less just kind of waiting until you get to Lover's Peak.
These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
I have no memory of Agent Nightingale. So, that'll be a surprise to me. Then we got a... And now we can take this extremely slow-moving platform. It would be nice to know where Lover's Peak is in reference to where Alan Wake is. That was one of the nice things about Episode 1, is you could always kind of see the...
Come on, we gotta get moving. More of them coming.
Who is this guy?
That flashlight's kid stuff.
That's all I got?
Stairs will keep the bastards away.
Huh.
You can see them too? Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move. Why?
Which also emphasizes the fact that
that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
That's the way the story goes.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then...
Okay, this is different.
He'd been on the ferry.
I have to get rid of their darkness so he can finish them off.
The direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake. You better keep up.
Oh. Hello. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Can you please shoot him? Thank you, sir. Why don't you just give me the gun? I'll have the flashlight and the gun, and that'll be A-okay. Your accuracy is awful, sir. That actually looked like it hit Alan Wake.
Lover's Peak. Right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake. Are you kidding? Give me the gun! No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it! A little longer. Scare them off.
Okay, so it's very much a defensive option. I wonder if it kills them when they're right next to you. When you use it. Let's find out. No, it does not. There we go. It's a good thing these guys don't have guns. Nope, nope. They are literally blocking the way forward.
Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake. Are you kidding? Give me the gun! No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it! A little longer. Scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us. Just a little longer. I almost got it. Okay, it's open. Move it or lose it.
Okay, second time's the charm. And let's head over to this convenient checkpoint. So are you actually going to fight them, or are we moving on?
Oh, you feeling better now, Wake? All cozy and safe. Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
So if the kidnapper... I think the kidnapper only exists because he was written into existence by Alan Wake. Think, if that's how the story goes.
The last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming. Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming! That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
Shoot him! Shoot him with your gun! Stop missing! Damn it! Oh! Oh, hello. Sure. Oh, hello. Damn it. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to start using batteries because this guy's fighting is very inconsistent. Are you done? Are they done? Interesting how the flashlight can be reloaded while it's being used. It's convenient. Oh yeah. Easy peasy.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were going to say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're going to bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
Oh no, he is a creation of... He's a creation of the darkness.
You touch her now.
Yeah, but at the very least I got the gun. I don't know if he actually shoots...
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
I don't think he shoots anybody who is not controlled by the darkness.
And he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign. And nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
Now, is that because the darkness itself is malicious? Or because of the presence that inhabits it? You know, most of space is pretty safe. Except for the small planets that happen to have aliens on them. Specifically the xenomorphs from the movie Aliens. Those planets, not particularly safe. Hold on. Is that a trap?
Steve warned me about these traps. I wouldn't want to get caught in one of them. Those teeth look nasty.
Any secrets? I mean, the fact that I can go in this direction implies that there are things in this direction. Unless, of course, this is a game created and designed by people who make areas just to befuddle their players. Oh, here we go. Trap. I get nothing for shooting it, but hey, I don't have to worry about stepping in it. And I also possibly save various dogs. That is a lot of traps. Luckily, I haven't gotten into any fights. Damn it. Damn it. That is not good. Okay. Okay, now I've been taught my lesson. Do not ignore all of these traps on the floor. There are a billion of these. I'm going to run out of ammo shooting these traps. Okay. Got some more ammo back. Did not get more health back. That would be useful. But notice how, like, the water is way out of view. It's just there for ambiance. Ah, yep, that is a lot of guys, like, right in front of me. Alright. That went well. Much better than the trap thing did. You know, I wonder if everything is a scripted encounter, or if the appearance of the enemies is random. Damn it. Because you can't, like, I remember playing this game and then, back in the day, and trying to explore, and the more time I spent exploring, the more encounters I got. So it almost felt like I guess the point is that you're never particularly safe. And that makes sense. Oh, hello. Oh my. I think he actually killed off, I did not realize the enemies could hit each other. Alright, so we got a checkpoint. We've got ammo, a manuscript page, I think?
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
Ooh, hunting rifle. I knew there were going to be other types of guns. I just had forgotten what types. And I guess a hunting rifle is definitely fitting for this area. Especially considering the enemies are...
I had heard the plane fall.
Ooh.
It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here, but it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
But let us check it out nonetheless. What does that gain me? Oh, I think I know. And I may have screwed myself out of it. Because what I should have done is gotten onto this wing of the plane. Okay. I did not screw myself out of it. There we go. And does this have a flare gun? Nope, it just has flares. And yeah, okay, so we got 2 guns, the flare gun for emergencies, if I ever get one again, and, the held flares, which is more of like a there to keep bad guys away. Although I suppose that is pretty useful, especially when you're surrounded by a bunch of goons. Alright. As long as you got the drop on them. Most bad guys... Oh, hello. There should be one more, I guess? And I think there's more, but hey. We can start that up, get that checkpoint, and we're safe again. For a moment. Before we move on. Deeper into the darkness. Am I going there? I think I'm going to that barn place. Is Barn Place a store? I think it is. But I don't think it's a store that sells barns. No, Room Place is a store. But then you have to kind of live in a rural area that's nearby places where you can do hunting. You have to... You have to buy and maintain weapons. You have to know how to hunt and skin and all that. It's a multi-step process. So I guess you really have to... Like, I wouldn't really do the hunting for the money-saving possibilities. Oh, hello. No. No. You know, I probably didn't... I probably had all the time in the world. And is this where the chainsaw... Get... Of course, it's in an enclosed environment. Where the spills of darkness decide to re-emerge once again. But anyway, is this where the chainsaw shows up? Don't know. Oh, manuscript page.
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
That question's kind of interesting. It's always weird. It's like, it presents the idea that just because the darkness wasn't as much of a problem before, doesn't mean that the town was safe from it.
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
Seeing is believing. If somebody goes around telling you that they're shooting up smoke monsters, you would be like, oh, you seem pretty lost. But if when you start seeing the smoke monsters they're shooting, then that's another story. Let's see. I don't know. I don't... Nope, hello. This place seems very dilapidated. Like it feels like it's a bunch of random structures. The darkness. Okay. The darkness. Where's her... I was reading, sir. The darkness. Where's her face? It's a good line. Oh, honey rifle. Anything on this side? Ooh, a manuscript. Reward for messing around.
Shadows stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the Taken. No natural path had brought them here.
Although it wasn't exactly news. It didn't really reveal anything about the world that I hadn't already known by experience. As much as it presented the fact that it exists within the story, in that deeper story. Nope. But I can climb over this. Eventually, there we go. Oh, hello. And that guy is just stuck behind those logs. You know, I might as well... I think I was holding off the usage of batteries for the longest time. But the thing is, since you lose your items in between levels, there's no point in not using items. Like, I feel as gamers want to hold on to everything they've got, the best stuff, just in case there's the big challenge waiting around the corner. But considering that Alan Wake kind of functions in a similar fashion, oh, there's the chainsaw. And I probably should drop down a flare. There we go. Makes short work out of that guy. And I believe, yeah, because Alan Wake kind of follows a similar style to older action games, where, especially like Max Payne 1 and 2, where at the end of every episode, you always revert to your initial armory set.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
Don't open that door!
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on. I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
Little did I know, I wasn't out of the woods yet.
I had to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus.
Sometimes I forget that there's actual driving in this game. Like, you actually drive a car around instead of just walk everywhere.
The man froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it, but it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
So is the FBI agent, Agent Nightingale, an influence of the darkness? Yeah. There are the keys to the garage. Oh, hello.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
Okay. That was, very close range. Very short, but close range. Yes, take your time. And oh, there we go. And the car battery also functions on the same principle. I wonder if there are supplies, like if I stopped and got out of my car, I could collect supplies. Like, will I even need them? Nope. Why, thank you. It's kind of hard to tell exactly where I'm intended to go, especially with all this darkness and shadow everywhere. There we go. That was nice timing. Yeah, I guess the driving controls are functional enough. They get the job done. And I kind of prefer like these kinds of driving controls where you have a separate accelerator versus steering, versus like the Halo driving controls where acceleration, reverse, and steering are all tied to the analog stick. Okay. It looks like I'm on foot from here. Okay, I think these are some familiar sights. Damn it. Who just hit me? And now we've got the dramatic music going on, because for the most part there wasn't really anything. And it's gone. That was fast. I was expecting the dramatic music to actually last a little longer.
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
Not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
Alright, so the kidnapper is not out of the story just
Barry
yet.
talked about birds over the phone.
The darkness controls the taken. Oh, I presumed that much.
Al, I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
I will see what I can do. Yeah, not too many birds can be destroyed by flashlights. You know, I don't really know how effective it is to focus the flashlights. Like, the light seems to do just fine fighting them off anyway. Or should I be shooting at them? Or should I be using the handheld flare? Okay, yeah. Focusing the flashlight is more effective. Still not quite that interesting, because ultimately you're just kind of standing around waiting for birds to attack you. Oh, hello. Kind of makes you welcome the repetitive hunter that wants to advertise hunting season to you while they murder you. Anybody else want some? There's still a ton of birds. Like a ton of birds around here.
Open the door now. They're gone.
Oh yeah, they are gone. That was fast.
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
It's all
Sent
forgiven.
Barry to town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
Absolutely nothing's wrong. You can tell that
day.
everything is okay.
Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the
Oh Dear Diner.
Good girl.
Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.